Recently, the Bank of Canada dropped their overnight rate for the third time in a row, and many economists believe that this trend will continue, which has me wondering, are the lower interest rates prepping the Halifax real estate market for another potential boom? Now, after a few busy years in the Halifax real estate market, as many of you know, things have definitely started to come back to reality. In 2020, we saw a 15% price increase, then in subsequent years, it went to 26%, then 16%, but then last year in 2023, we saw it at 2.3% growth, and now we're on pace in 2024 for somewhere around a 4 to 5% growth this year. In this video, I'm going to dive into this topic a little bit more and talk about how the interest rates might affect the housing market going forward here in Halifax, and I'm also going to give a general market update for HRM as the new stats are in up to the end of August for this year. But just before I get into it, if you're new here, my name is Andrew Stephens and I'm a realtor in Halifax, and if you want to be educated on the Halifax real estate market, then hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. And if you're thinking about making a move anywhere in the HRM and you want to get in touch with me, you can book a call with me anytime in the Calendly link below. And as a side note, a lot of you watching may be from out of province, and if you're looking to learn more about Halifax, I just started a new channel called the Halifax Insider, which is all about living in Halifax, talking about things to do, places to visit, food and drink, and all that good stuff. So whether you're a local looking for some new stuff to do, or maybe you're somebody moving from away, this is a great channel for you. And don't worry, I'm still going to be keeping up with the real estate and buyer and seller tips on this channel like I always have. So starting off with a general market update, these are the stats year to date from January 1st to August 31st in HRM. So far this year, we've had just under 3,600 sales, which is up 6.1%. Now, this one is a little bit funny because most realtors right now will tell you that it's really slow. And although it is slow compared to maybe 2020, 2021, and 2022, we're up 6% year over year in terms of sales. So we're busier now than we were last year. And I think it's just a bit of our minds are a little bit skewed thinking about that COVID pandemic market. And also, I think the consumer's minds are still a little bit skewed with what's normal and what's not because of those 3 years being so crazy just not long ago. Now, the average sale price for these homes so far this year has been just under $578,000, which is up 2.8% from this time last year. So although things are slow, according to most realtors, and although a lot of the media and the public are saying the market is tanking, here we are up 2.8% in terms of sale prices. And if we stay the course right now until the end of the year, we're tracking to be up about 4 to 5% at year end, which is typical of the 40-year average that we see in HRM. And in terms of inventory, we have 2.34 months of listing inventory in the HRM, which is just over 1,100 listings. So we're still in a seller's market overall, but that inventory level is increasing pretty much every month as I'm doing these updates. So the market has been pretty steady for most of the year. And if you've been following along, most of my market updates are pretty similar. The stats have been pretty steady this year. And all year we've been seeing in the media and seeing other realtors post and other industry members post about, what would happen when the rates started to come down. And truthfully, I haven't noticed a huge uptick in business or a huge uptick in sales, whether it's myself or people I know in the industry or my own office. I really haven't noticed a huge uptick with the first two rate decreases that we saw once the Bank of Canada started to lower the rates. Now, I'm not shocked that the market didn't take off with these two rate announcements because truthfully, the fixed rates have been lower than the variable rates all year long. So these announcements from the Bank of Canada haven't made a huge difference to those buyers trying to get into the market. However, now fixed rates are on the decline as well. And with this, I do think it will start to make a difference. Overall, although the rate decreases are going to help buyers, we're still stress tested at 2% higher than the rate that we're going to be getting anyways. And the overall affordability is a huge problem right now in the market in HRM. So it will help, but it's not necessarily just automatically going to make a ton of people be able to get into homes. However, I do think that there's one particular type of buyer that it is going to be helping, and these are people that maybe qualify on paper, but when they look at their situation, maybe they're in a cheap apartment that's on the rent cap, and maybe they're paying $1,600 a month or $1,500 a month, or maybe it's even a little bit more like $1,800 a month. If they go to buy a home that they're approved for, maybe that works out to be, $2,700 a month, $2,800 a month for payments. So they qualify on paper, but the overall situation and the rates has them sitting on the fence and not wanting to pull the trigger yet. So the rates are one thing, and this obviously has a huge factor on affordability and the market in HRM as a whole. But another question would be the listings. How many homes are for sale in HRM? And do we have the correct type of home for sale in the HRM? And right now, I'm not sure that is the case. So right now, we have just over 1,100 listings in the HRM. And this is the situation of the breakdown of what those price points look like. And again, I don't think it's really the right mix of what we need right now. So again, just over 1,100 active listings in the HRM right now, which again is 2.34 months of listing inventory. So still a seller's market. Now, 266 of them are under $500,000. This works out to 24%. 428 of them are from $500,000 to $750,000, which is 38%. 245 of them are between $750,000 and $1 million, which is 22%, and 170 of them are over $1 million, which is 16%. So the overall listing inventory is a part of this, and our listing inventory has been moving up in the right direction, but we're still in a seller's market. Now, again, I think I would feel very differently about this if, for example, the active listings under $500,000 were 40 or 50% of those active listings. And I think if they were anywhere around that number, I think we'd be seeing a lot more sales in the HRM because there'd be a lot more homes in affordable price ranges that people could actually afford. And in terms of the market activity, it's a huge difference in terms of the level of activity on a house under $500,000, for example, in what I would consider to be an affordable price range. And then comparing that to, say, the $750,000 price range or the $1 million price range, or even the $650,000 or $600,000 price range. It's a big difference in terms of the level of activity there and how that looks when those homes get listed and what that offer process looks like. Right now, in the under $500,000 price range, we have less than a month's worth of inventory, which, to put into context, is sort of similar to what we were seeing across the board when the COVID market was off the rails and we were seeing 25 or 30 offers on a house and things were selling, $150,000 or $200,000 over the asking price. Now, comparing this to the more expensive price ranges, anything over that, we're seeing about 3 or 4 times that level of inventory, which is bringing it a lot closer to a balanced market rather than a seller's market. So those markets are very, very different. In the lower price ranges, we're still seeing a ton of competing offer situations and not so much activity on those higher price points. So the listing inventory is great, and obviously we want to see more homes on the market as that's going to take the pressure off of buyers as a general statement, but we need more affordable homes listed in the marketplace to really make a difference. So it's kind of similar to the rental market situation. We're seeing a ton of building going on, but not a ton of affordable units being built. Now, obviously, as the rates start to decrease, that is going to make a difference. But the big question is when? At the end of the day, do I think this last rate cut that the Bank of Canada just made will make a difference? Not necessarily, but we are moving in the right direction. But as these rates come down, do I think that the market's going to explode like it did during the pandemic? I certainly hope not. I think we're in for some more steady increases year over year, 4 or 5, maybe 6%, maybe 8 or 9% on a busy year. But I don't think we're going to see anything like the 15 to 25% that we saw just a few years ago. And to be honest, I really hope that doesn't happen because it's just more and more of a train wreck with the overall housing situation the more these price points go up. Will this happen in the last quarter of 2024? Maybe. I do think that we're going to be in for a pretty busy fall based on what I'm looking at right now. Maybe it'll be in 2025, or maybe it'll take even longer. But I do think that eventually, as the rates continue to drop, we're going to see better affordability with more buyer confidence and more pent-up buyer demand brought into the marketplace. And even if this doesn't necessarily result in the price points going up or that upward pressure on pricing like most realtors and most industry members are generally expecting, it should result in more market activity, more sales, more homes selling, and homes sitting on the market a little bit less time frame compared to what we're seeing right now. Now, if you're still here watching, I'm curious, what do you think? You obviously have some interest in this topic if you're still here on this video, so I'm curious to drop it in the comments below. Do you think the lower rates are going to have an impact that's significant on the Halifax real estate market anytime soon, or do you think it's going to take more time? And do you think it's really going to affect the price points moving forward in 2024, 2025, 2026, and so on? I would love to hear what you think in the comments below. And if you're still here and you got any value out of this video, all I ask is that you hit that like button and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of my future content. And that'll help push this out to more people like you who may be interested in seeing videos about the Halifax and Nova Scotia real estate market. And until next time, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your support. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to check out the Halifax Insider. These videos are awesome and they're all about living in Halifax, and it's a great way to learn more about this incredible city on the east coast of Canada. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Sellers Market.